Hey, Jay Clark here with Rocky Mountain. We're going to have a tech tip today on CRF 250 and 450X model airboxes. And these airboxes are really good, sealed up, keep your filter clean, but they only allow air in right through here. So performance can really suffer by just this small amount. So if you cut this airbox open, you pick up some serious power. Of course, now you're going to get your filter a little bit more dirty, more susceptible to water, those types of things, but the performance gains sure outweigh it. So we're going to give you some tips on how to do that right now. Remember, you're going to have to change your jetting. Really important, serious jetting changes. We're going to list the jetting changes that we run right here. You can use those jetting specs, will get you really close, but you're going to for sure have to change your jetting if you do this mod. So Honda's done a real good job of leaving you this line right here. You can barely see it, but if you have it in your hand, you can see it a lot easier. I get a silver Sharpie, and I'm just drawing along right inside of that line. And we're going to follow this line all the way around the entire airbox. Top, and you can see this line goes all the way through here, all the way up here, down, like so. Honda provides you that line. So basically anything we cut out inside of this line is free game. We're cutting this entire thing out. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to drill some holes throughout this area to get started. Okay, so one of the only things you have to watch out for that you could damage would be part of our mounting cage here inside. So when we're going through, in any way we're cutting, we want to avoid coming down and hitting our threaded piece stock. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes to get us some starting point. And obviously if we're inside of these lines, it really doesn't matter where we go, just get us some area to get started. Okay, so we've got us some holes in here. Looks pretty crude, but it'll get us started. Okay, so there's different types of tools you can use to cut this. I've used these little cutoff wheels on my little die grinder. You can go like that. I've come up with a new system that's a little easier. We just came up with a few weeks ago. A little easier, I think, more control, and we'll go over that. So in this case, we have a torch, my little lighter here, but we got a knife. So I would suggest don't use Mom's good knife. Got a knife here. And what we do is we just heat up the knife, and we can get started inside our holes and just cut. And then with the knife hot, it just goes right through. So you just heat up the knife like so. I don't know any exact temperature to heat it to. Of course, whenever you're using a torch, you want to be real careful. Okay, she's glowing, and you get in here. And now we can just go right around our box here. So now I've done this whole section with the one heating up of the knife. Then I'll have to reheat up the knife and I can get a few more sections going. Okay, so now I've got a section where I can peel it out like so. And you can see we're just going to do this all the way around. We're going to follow that nice silver line all the way around the box. It can be a good idea to drill these rivet heads off right here, and that gets this metal bracket out of the way before you come through within your cutting tools or knife. You don't have to cut the metal, you can just pull the rivet right off. You have to blow a little bit here. Keep the smoke out of your face. So the entire piece comes off. So got it off in 2 pieces, like so. And now we'll go around our airbox with a deburring knife and clean all this up. And then clean the entire box really well before we were to install it back again. Okay, so with a deburring knife, I've cleaned this up. You can also use a file. Any way you can clean all this off. At this time, it's a really good idea to maybe use some degreaser in here, power wash this whole thing out, clean it all up, blow it out with air, make sure everything's gone before you go reinstall it in the bike. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Pretty simple deal. You got to do the jetting, like I said. Make sure you clean it all up. If you don't feel comfortable with this, you know, get a good mechanic to help you. But something you can do is if you can pull the jetting off, you're all good to go. At this time, we get rid of some of the extra lines, smog stuff and so forth. You can plug these off, applied, make some nice plugs, go right in here. Now I'll show you what it looks like on the bike. Okay, so as you can see now, way better access to the filter. That helps in getting the filter in and out. You can access from the top. There's no way to do this without taking the airbox completely out, obviously. So to do that, you got to loosen the subframe, take all the subframe bolts off. And then for the airbox itself, there's one bolt right here to install. And you get 2 bolts under the rear fender. And then and if you loosen it from the carburetor, airbox will pull out kind of from the front side. You just pull it right out and install back the same way. So pretty big job, but good, relatively easy mod for your 250X. One of the best, you know, for the price, since it's basically free other than your jetting and your time in doing it. One of the best mods you can do.